Ibu is preparing an indigenous gourmet treat for her customers. She's a bunong cook, and this millet dish is one of the most famous on her menu. She stirs it for 2 hours so it reaches the right consistency. Ibu spent a year learning how to make this dish from a tribal elder. Since then, she's become the tribe's millet specialist.
老人家在我的脸上都是看到小米，就是刻着你就是专门要煮小米的人，所以老人家就会讲述更多他们以前有吃过的传统的料理。经过了这一次之后，我就觉得传统的味道，尤其是那遗失的料理，是一件很值得再把它重新做回来的事情。
Ibu also takes great care to serve the food in a traditional manner, on leaves and bamboo. The millet grows right next to her restaurant, which only adds to the dining experience. This is her way of telling the story of her people and their culture.
我爸爸常说，如果说没有小米的话，就不会有布农族的祭典，因为我们的所有的祭典都是因为小米而办。在什么季节该种什么植物，然后什么像是玉米啊、甘蔗啊，还有一些地瓜，都是随着小米而种植的。所以那些菜色就会出现在我们的风味餐里面。当我们在诉说这个料理的时候，可以让游客能够更知道说他为什么要吃这一道菜。
Fayan, another indigenous cook, also gets many of her ingredients from her own restaurant's backyard.
其实野菜呢，对我们阿美族来说是非常常见的，因为它就长在生活周边。所以其实客人来到我这里做体验的时候，就是会带他们到小野菜园，先认识野菜。其实有很多部分都是每一个菜都是跟那个我们自己的文化有做连结。
After living in a big city for years, Fayan returned home to her family. And she says this restaurant is a new opportunity to reconnect to her roots.
应该说我们池上的我们这个部落，就是它跟汉人比较接近，对，所以我会觉得小时候就会觉得，好像只有丰年祭的时候才会接触到文化，像平常日常就比较少。
Most indigenous food in Taiwan is geared to tourists and has been adapted to cater to the taste of the Taiwanese majority. But there are more people like Ibu and Fayan who want to share the genuine spirit of indigenous culture, and the Taitung city government wants to help them.
有一群年轻人想回家，然后他们也很想把自己的文化，自己想要让外地人了解的那一个部分，用食物来做呈现。可是，在这样子，大家是在一个单打独斗的状态。那我们这个计划可以给的帮助，就是在餐食的服务上面的一些建议，还有整个空间的一个调整改造。
To make the most authentic indigenous cuisine, these restaurants use a lot of traditional crops, which then encourages tribes to keep growing them and gain their food sovereignty.
当它夯起来的时候，它是不是就开始会有一个量，就会产生了一个需求，需求就会反映到种植的面积或是采植的那个分量。
Tuhi, an indigenous writer, visited all the restaurants that worked with the city project. She said that by presenting traditional food in a modern way, these restaurants plant a seed of curiosity about their culture.
It's still very original and still very natural. And I would say that's how I see indigenous food. It's not just food to feed people. And it's more about like the story behind it and also like a lot of wisdom behind it.
Taiwanese indigenous people have struggled for decades to regain power over their cultural discourse. Now the younger generation is being creative about merging tradition with modernity by using food as a way to preserve their stories while building a connection with those around them. Asnaya Zhou, Weichung Lu for TaiwanPlus.